Imagine this. You've gone through the process of meeting with an attorney, carefully outlining your wishes for what happens to your estate after you pass. You've created a living trust to keep your loved ones out of court, avoid the delays of probate, and ensure your property is passed on smoothly. You think you're done, but there's one critical step you missed. One step that, if ignored, could unravel your entire plan. That step? Funding your trust. It's one of the most common and most dangerous oversights in estate planning. You can have the most beautifully drafted trust document, but if your assets aren't correctly transferred into that trust, your estate may still end up in probate, costing your family time, money, and emotional strain. A living trust is a legal document that holds title to your property so that it can be managed during your lifetime and passed down after your death without going through probate. When properly created and maintained, a trust avoids the long, public, and expensive court process that comes with settling an estate through probate. Trust also gives you more control. You can direct when and how your beneficiaries receive their inheritance. For example, if you have minor children or grandchildren, you can instruct that funds be distributed in stages rather than all at once. You can also provide protections for a beneficiary who may be disabled or financially irresponsible. The catch is, for your trust to do any of this, it must actually own your assets. This means you must change the title of your home, bank, accounts, investments, and other assets from your name to the name of your trust. So what does it mean to actually fund your trust? Funding a trust simply means transferring ownership of your assets into that trust. Think of your trust as a suitcase. Until you place your assets into it by legally changing their titles, they remain outside the suitcase. And if you're outside the trust, when you pass away, they may have to go through probate. For real estate, funding means preparing and recording a new deed showing the trust is the owner. For financial accounts, it means contacting your bank or investment company and retitling the accounts into the name of your trust. Some assets, like life insurance policies or retirement accounts, aren't retitled, but instead require a change in beneficiary designation to name your trust. But here's the thing, trust funding is not one and done. You have to keep it up. If you buy a new property or open a new account and forget to place it in your trust, that asset could still end up in probate, even if everything else is properly transferred. Here is what can happen if you don't fund your trust. Let's be clear. If your trust isn't funded, it's legally useless, and your loved ones will be the ones paying the price. Let's say you created a beautiful living trust that lists your home as a key asset, but you never actually recorded a new deed putting the home into the trust. When you passed away, the county recorder's office still shows the home in your individual name, not your trust. In that case, your heirs will have to go through probate to gain control of the property. This could take months or even years, depending on how backed up the courts are. During this time, they can't sell the home, refinance it, or collect rental income. And if there are multiple heirs with conflicting ideas about what to do, the court may need to get involved to resolve disputes. The court that's not peace of mind, that's a mess. So what does it mean to fund your trust? Here's what can happen if you don't fund your trust. Let me share a real story that I've seen play out far too often, and one that illustrates the dangers of skipping the trust funding step. A family in Orange County had done what they thought was everything right. The parents had a living trust created years ago with clear instructions about who would inherit their estate. Their 3 adult children. But there was one problem. The family home, their most valuable asset, was never transferred into the trust. It was listed in the trust paperwork, but they never recorded a new deed with the county showing that the trust was the legal owner. When the parents passed, the children were devastated and then blindsided by the news that the house had to go through probate. Probate in California is no small matter. It meant a 9-month court process minimum, thousands in legal and court fees, public notice in the newspaper. And remember, this was entirely avoidable. A single recorded deed would have honored their parents' wishes, saved them time and money, and spared them the unnecessary stress during a difficult time. This is why I say funding your trust is just as important as creating it. Here are the steps to make sure your trust is properly funded and the consequences if you don't maintain it. So you've done the hard work. Created your trust, transferred your assets, recorded deeds, updated beneficiaries. Now you're done, right? Not quite. A trust isn't a set it and forget it plan. Life happens, assets change, and if you don't maintain your trust, it can quietly slip out of date. That can bring you right back to the problems you tried to avoid. Here's what maintaining your trust really means. Once a year, take an hour to go through your finances and ask, have I bought or sold any real estate? Did I open a new bank or investment account? Did I acquire any major asset? A car, inheritance, collectibles? Have I refinanced my home? This one is huge. Many lenders require you to temporarily remove your home from the trust during refinancing, but some homeowners forget to deed it back in afterwards. That one oversight can trigger probate years later. Make sure everything new is added. Your attorney can help update, schedule, or re-record deeds as needed. As life changes, your beneficiary choices might too. Maybe a child gets married or divorced, a new grandchild is born, a beneficiary passes away or becomes incapacitated. You may want to change the terms or restructure distributions. If your wishes evolved, your trust must evolve with them. Work with your estate planning attorney to keep everything aligned. Keep an updated copy of your trust and funding documents in a fireplace safe at home, digitally backed up, password protected. Share with your successor trustee and key members. That way, when something happens, no one has to guess where things are or whether they were handled properly. How to probate. A savvy realtor can help. Let's say the worst has already happened. A loved one passed away, and a home that should have been in the trust wasn't properly transferred. The trust was drafted, the intentions were clear, but the title still in the decedent's name. At this point, the family is often grieving, overwhelmed with paperwork, and panicking about what happens next. That's when a realtor who understands probate becomes an invaluable partner. What a probate-specialized realtor can do: 1, review the title status. We'll start by pulling a current title report to confirm how the property is held. If it's still in the deceased person's name, we'll advise whether probate or a Hagstead petition might be needed. 2, coordinate with your legal team. I'll work hand in hand with your probate attorney to gather documentation, communicate with the court if necessary, and prepare your home for sale while ensuring all timelines and legal requirements are respected. 3, help you avoid pitfalls. Probate sales often come with unique challenges. Court timelines require disclosures and sometimes overbidding. A general agent may not know how to navigate these. I do. Number 4, offer trusted referrals. Need a probate attorney? A title company that understands trust? A mobile notary, clean-out crew, locksmith, or appraiser? I built a team of trusted providers who work with estate properties every day. 5, protect the property. From securing vacant homes to managing utilities and arranging inspections or cleanouts, I help ensure your inherited property is respected, perfected, and positioned for the best possible outcome. Whether you're keeping the home, selling it, or just trying to avoid future chaos, A probate-savvy agent ensures you're not figuring it out alone. Now let's wrap up with a final summary and an invitation to get help before problems arise. My final thoughts? A living trust is a powerful estate planning tool, but only if it's funded properly. Too many people go through the time and expense of creating a trust only to leave it empty. And when that happens, your estate is left vulnerable to the very thing you were trying to avoid, probate court. So let's recap. Trust funding means transferring ownership of your assets to your trust. Without funding, your assets will go through probate. The process includes retitling property, updating beneficiaries, and assigning personal items. It must be maintained regularly, especially when life changes or new assets are acquired. And if something goes wrong, a probate-savvy real estate agent can help you recover and move forward. If you're watching this and wondering whether your trust is properly funded or you've inherited a home and aren't sure what to do next, please reach out. I specialize in helping families across Orange County navigate the legal, emotional, and logistical challenges of estate real estate. Whether it's setting up your home for a smooth transfer or avoiding probate pitfalls, I'm here to make this easier for you and your loved ones. Call, text, or email me anytime. Comment below with your questions. I respond personally, and your questions might help someone else avoid a costly mistake. Thanks for joining me today. Remember, your legacy deserves more than a document. It deserves a plan that works when your family needs it most. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.